Tennessee Titans fans, we ain't got no primetime games this year. None. And you know what? That's fine. It's not the end of the world because there are valid reasons for the Tennessee Titans not to have a primetime game in 2025. There are valid reasons. They were 3-14. They were horrible. They were incredibly boring. They were tough to watch. The one primetime game they did have last year against Miami was a stinker, even though the Titans won. It was a stinker. It was incredibly boring. There are valid reasons out there that I can accept. But if you will, watch this clip. Watch this clip of good old Mike North, the NFL VP of Broadcast Planning, explaining why the Titans didn't get a primetime game. And, just listen to what he had to say.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional. I mean, you know how this works. We've got probably a dozen schedules in front of the commissioner in that last week.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those had the Titans on Monday Night Football. Some of them had the Titans in the TBD pool for Saturday for the NFL Network. It wasn't a conscious effort going in, maximum 0 Titans primes. It was more about a mixture of all the rest of what has to go into the soup. You don't draft your way into prime time. You play your way into prime time.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it wasn't intentional. I mean,
All right, Mike. Okay, Mike North. You don't draft your way into prime time. You play your way into prime time. You prove that you belong in prime time, and that's why you get there. Now, that I've got a problem with. And the reason I have a problem with that is because you're insulting my intelligence. You're insulting the entire fan base's intelligence. There are valid reasons for the Titans not to have a primetime game, but that is a load of garbage. You got to play your way into primetime. The Carolina Panthers had 2 primetime games Bryce Young's rookie year, and they stunk. So what changed? What got them 2 primetime games Bryce Young's rookie year? Because it wasn't the fact that they played their way into it. The Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow's rookie. I can't talk. I'm so mad. Joe Burrow's rookie year. The Cincinnati Bengals had a couple of primetime games. Did they play their way into it? Because they stunk the year before. What got them a primetime game? It wasn't their play. Just this year, the Jacksonville Jaguars have a primetime game. What got them there? What were they, 4-13 last year? They were terrible. Hideous. But even they managed to get at least one primetime game this year. Did they play their way into it? I could go all day, folks. The Dallas Cowboys have 6, and I know they're Dallas. They're the Cowboys. They're America's team. 6 primetime games for the Cowboys, and it ain't because they played their way into it, because they are bad. And they were bad last year, but yet they got 6 primetime games. The Atlanta Falcons got 5. Now, I don't think the Falcons were bad last year, but you mean to tell me the Falcons played their way into 5 primetime games? The Miami Dolphins have 5 primetime games this season. I'm not saying Miami was bad last year, but you're going to tell me they played their way in to 5 primetime games? Patriots have a few primetime games coming up this year. They were 4-13. They were picking in the top 5 this year. Did the Patriots play their way into a primetime spot? Because you just said you can't draft your way into primetime. You got to play. You got to show that you're good enough to get into primetime. Have the Jags proven it? Have the Colts proven it? You thought we weren't going to go into the hopes and dreams land today? But sure, let's go there. Did the Colts prove it? Because they got a primetime game. They only got 1, but they got 1. Did they play their way in to a primetime spot? That's garbage. And that fella, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I've never heard of him before. That's insulting. That's insulting. That's insulting to my intelligence, and it's insulting to yours. And I don't care who you cheer for. I have people that cheer for different teams that watch this channel, that watch my videos, and I appreciate all of you. I've heard from Jets fans, Lions fans, Bears fans, Colts fans, Texans fans, Jaguars fans. I've heard from all of you, and I understand. But I'm pretty sure anybody can see where I'm coming from. I don't care if you hate the Titans. That's hypocrisy. You got to play your way into prime time. Dallas played their way into the season opener against Philadelphia, didn't they? They played their way into it. The Eagles could have played the Lions in the season opener on Thursday, September 4th. They could have played the Commanders. I think they even could have played the Texans. Any of those would have been phenomenal opening games on Thursday night for the season. But it ended up being the Cowboys. Because I guess they played their way into it. They earned that by how good they've been. Give me a break. Now, I said last night, I would be madder if the Browns had a primetime game, because then the whole Shador, Cam, bringing up all of that Mel Kiper energy that I had in me from the draft that is still there, because Mel Kiper still hasn't apologized. He's just doubled down on his nonsense, because what he did was insulting to my intelligence, and now this is insulting to it too. This is ridiculous. That's a ridiculous explanation for the Titans not to. You could have said anything. You could have said, hey, listen, just sometimes it happens. They weren't good last year. Only a handful of teams that weren't good last year will find a primetime game. It just is what it is. I would have accepted that. If you would have said, they're a small market team, they were terrible last year, it is what it is, I would have accepted that. But don't come in here and lie to me. Don't lie to me and tell me, well, you can't draft your way into it. You got to play your way into it. Oh, yeah? Well, the evidence says otherwise, because the Bengals sure drafted their way into primetime spots. The Panthers drafted their way into primetime spots. The Texans drafted their way into primetime spots. Every year, teams draft their way into primetime spots. And this year, the Patriots didn't even have to draft their way into it. They just had to hire old Mike, everybody's favorite head coach. Good old boy Vrabel. That's all they had to do. And then here's a few primetimes. The Patriots have been pretty much horrible since Brady left. But yet they've played their way into primetime. Why don't you just tell the truth that some of us are having to operate under a different set of rules than the others? The Cowboys can get away with being terrible because they're the Cowboys. The Bears can get away with always being terrible because they're the Bears. The Patriots can get away with being terrible because they're the Patriots. I don't know why the Falcons or the Dolphins get 5 primetime games, but whatever. But the team like the Titans, a lot of times they can't get away with it. And that's fine. But you already have a number 1 draft pick who is in discussion for being the most overlooked, uncared about number 1 draft pick by the national media in history. And now he's not even in prime time. I remember when Will Levis was drafted and Vrabel told him on the phone, hey, you don't come in here with a chip on your shoulder. You do not take any of this personally. Forget that, dude. I want Cam to take it all personally. I want him to take it all personally. You want me to play my way into primetime? When a lot of guys that are worse than me didn't have to? All right? Tell him. Tell him. Tell him. Yes, sir. Tighten up.